Psalm 74 ends with the tumult of God's enemies still rising, and Asaph's petition hanging unanswered before the throne. The sanctuary lies in ruins, and the foolish man reproaches God daily. The dark places of the earth are filled with cruelty. Psalm 75 opens in a different register. Unto thee, O God, do we give thanks. Unto thee do we give thanks, for that thy name is near thy wondrous works declare. Psalm 75, verse 1. The shift is immediate and deliberate. Where Psalm 74 ends with rising noise from enemies, Psalm 75 opens with the congregation giving thanks. God, who appeared silent in Psalm 74, receives praise in Psalm 75. The same name that enemies reproached daily is now declared near. This contrast is not accidental. The opening line repeats itself. Unto thee, O God, do we give thanks. Unto thee do we give thanks. This is not thoughtless repetition. Biblical poetry uses repetition to drive a point deeper into the reader's understanding. The double statement closes off every other recipient. The congregation speaks here in the plural. Asaph has moved from the singular cry of Psalm 74, where he stood before God as a representative voice, to the gathered community speaking together. The we of Psalm 75, verse 1, is the congregation of Israel. These are the people who now stand giving thanks. The reason for the thanks is stated. For that, thy name is near. This is the answer to Psalm 74's crisis. The sanctuary was burned, and the meeting places were destroyed. These signs of God's presence had vanished. Asaph asked where God was and why he had cast off his people. The answer Psalm 75 gives does not explain God's timing or method. The answer is that God's name is near. His name represents God's revealed character, his covenant identity, his faithfulness, and his power. When the name is near, God himself is accessible. The enemy could burn the cedar panels and pull down the carved work with axes. The enemy could plant banners in the holy place and set fire to the meeting places of Israel. But the enemy could not drive God's name away. The name remained near when the building did not. This is the theological foundation of the congregation's thanks. They do not give thanks because the sanctuary has been rebuilt. They do not give thanks because the enemy has been defeated or scattered. Rather, they give thanks because God's name is near, and that nearness is itself sufficient ground for worship. The verse closes with the declaration that God's wondrous works declare his name's nearness. The wondrous works are not new miracles performed. They are the accumulated acts of God in Israel's history that the congregation already knows. The same works Asaph rehearsed in Psalm 74, dividing the sea, breaking Leviathan, cleaving the rock, and establishing the borders of the earth. These works declare that God's name is near to his people. History testifies that God has not withdrawn. The congregation enters Psalm 75 not because their circumstances have changed, but because they have fixed their attention on God. His name remains near, and his wondrous works stand as permanent testimony. On that ground, thanks is not only possible, it is the only fitting response.